Hey guys, Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Now today in front of me on the table, I've got PUTCO's Blade light bar fitting your 2020 and newer Jeep Gladiator. Now what I love about the PUTCO Blade light bar is that we've installed it on a ton of vehicles. I had one on my 2012 JK, even before they were making them for the specific JK. We put one on just to give me some extra light back there and really give it an aggressive look. Now with this one here on the table here today, it's going to plug right in using the PUTCO 7-blade adapter. This is simply going to plug in behind your factory trailer connection and give you all the connectors needed to plug right into this. It's going to give you all your turn signals, your reverse light, everything that you need without having to make any special cuts or splices into the factory wiring on your Jeep. That means that this is a 100% bolt-on kit. You're not going to need to remove anything, you're not going to need to make any permanent modifications, it'll simply go right on. Now the main benefit of this PUTCO Blade light bar is that you're going to get a really aggressive look and people are going to really be able to see the back of your Jeep. This features a running light, both turn signals, as well as your flasher, a brake light, and even a reverse light that is extremely bright. Now with this one for the Gladiator, they did design it to match the coloring of the Jeep too, so there's no amber lighting in here at all. It's all red and white, which at first I thought there might be amber lights in this, and I thought, I don't know how that would look, being that everything on the back of the Jeep is red and white, but they thought of everything and we simply have red and white built into here. Now that being said, we are going to pull the tailgate off of my Jeep Gladiator just to make it a little easier to install this. You know, we'll clean up the portion where we have to put the clips on here and do some adhesive, but overall it should be a pretty simple installation. Everything is plug and play. Besides one wire you do have to cut and just splice right into here, but there's no modifications at all. I can't say that enough. No modifications at all to your factory wiring. So a really cool install here. Let's get it on my Jeep Gladiator, see how it looks. All right guys, so we got the tailgate dropped here, and the first thing we need to remove are going to be our tailgate cables here. We are going to use a T40 Torx bit and remove these lower two. I tried the upper ones and they're a heck of a lot more tight than these lower two. So we're going to remove those. And then the next step is basically just to unclip this harness in here. It's really simple to get to. And then with a friend, or if you can do it by yourself, go ahead and pull the tailgate off. And we're going to move it by pulling it off on this side first and then rock it. But first we got to remove these. So we'll just use a T40. So we got that one off. We're just going to maybe we'll flip it up onto the tonneau cover. Now before we remove this one and have to hold this tailgate up ourselves, we are going to remove the harness. There's a plate back here and it's got a little kind of lever clip on the side. You push that towards the driver's side and pull that off. And then you will have your harnesses right here. So then once you have that flipped up, all you've got is your camera wire and your wiring for your third brake light, as well as probably a crossover wire for your taillights. Now we're going to unclip these. Okay. So that one you do have to put a little bit more force when you're pushing it down. There's a small little clip on the inside there. I used a flathead just to push that. It's kind of hard to get your fingers in there, but those are removed. So now we're going to just kind of set those back into the hole where they were. And you can see that's just the wiring for the tailgate. So that's all off, connected to here. Now the next step is to remove the exact same tailgate cable. We're going to use the T40 over here. And then Ryan's going to give me a hand pulling this off and setting it on just a nice drop cloth, that way we don't scratch it up. So basically there's another cover on top of the passenger side location which holds the tailgate on. And we're going to use a T30 Torx bit to get that cover removed. So here's just a close-up shot, guys, of what we had to remove. Now here's the T30 Torx bit. Basically the way that's going to sit is right like this. So you have your small circular section down here, which that's the point in which your tailgate pivots. Now in order for you to get it out of the slot, you have to remove this cover by removing this bolt. We'll show you a quick shot here of the slot also. Basically you're going to pull it out of the slot here, and then it's in the pivot point and pull it towards the passenger side, and the whole tailgate's removed. Ryan and I just picked it up. Honestly, it probably weighs about 30 pounds, so you can do this on your own, but tailgates are expensive, so don't drop it, don't smack anything around. Definitely grab a buddy, grab your wife, whoever's at home, give you a hand. The biggest thing here, guys, is getting this nice and cleaned up. So you can tell it's wintertime here in Pennsylvania. We've got snow dripping off the Gladiator, but we definitely want a really, really clean surface. So right now I'm wiping this down with isopropyl alcohol just to clean it up. So in order to get the PUTCO blade bar, we will have to remove this hole, or not remove the hole, remove the grommet. There's just two little push pins on the back. You can see them right here. You just depress those down, one on the top, one on the bottom, and we can set this out of the way. So in order to remove your harness here, the only thing I did was actually to press on both of these sides, pull it straight out so it got it to this point, and then right here you're actually going to pick up on the inside of this and then pull it straight out like so. So that's how you're going to do that. Once that's out like this, we can now install our T-harness into there and then start with the PUTCO light bar installation onto the back. Okay guys, so we've got our T-harness here. Now what this is going to do is allow us to get power from the main vehicle body harness and piggyback that onto the trailer connection, and then still give us the connections here for that PUTCO blade light bar. Also our reverse light input and our 12-volt power input right there. So what I'm going to do is get this all plugged in. The bigger side here will go into the body side connector, and then this smaller side is going to go into the trailer plug. I'm going to go underneath and do it because if I do it all out here, I won't be able to shove it all through this bumper. So I'm going to go underneath, plug the bigger side into the body, smaller side into the light bar. So that's the way we're going to do that, and we'll go underneath and get it done. So now we've attached the 4 clips to the back of this PUTCO light bar, and we've removed the 3M backing on them. And what I'm going to do to get this lined up is I actually took a look at it before I took the tailgate off. Right in about the center of where this grommet should be is pretty much the center of where I want the light bar to be. Now if I look at the Jeep also, there are going to be 2 spot welds that hold on this panel. There's one here and one here. If I had to imagine looking at them left to right, they are at the pretty much exact same spot. So I'm going to align the ends of the light bar to those 2 spot welds that are right here. Now I have all of them pulled, so I'm going to line them up here, get it stuck on, and then we can do some quick plug and play wiring to get this thing done. And once you get in a spot you like, give them a good push on those, probably for about 10 to 15 seconds each. We do have that super cleaned off with that isopropyl alcohol, so that'll be good to go. Really get a nice stick on there, a nice hard stick on the back of this bed. We have our tailgate light bar fully installed. We've got all of our harness back here. Now we do have the 4 plug run into the connection. I just have that in there. The cool thing about this is the way you want to route it and wire it up and tuck it all behind there, it's all up to you. So not really a huge deal. But now we are going to connect this white wire with the white wire here. And that's just going to clip right into place. It's a weather tight connection. The 4-pin is completely installed. Now this extra black wire here, it can be attached to the red wire that has the heat shrink on it. So this red wire that has heat shrink on it can be attached to there if the LED taillights do not flash at the same rate. So basically what that means is certain trucks have a different flash rate for your trailer connection than your actual LED taillights. So what I'm going to see now is I'm going to go inside, put the key in, turn and turn signal on, and see if they flash at the same rate. If they do, great, this is it. We don't have to do anything else. If they do flash at a different rate, we will have to cut this red wire and hook it up to this black wire, but just simple 1 connection. And we're actually going to do it just with a simple crimp-on connection that we can disconnect, so that'll be nice and easy. The wire we're going to be working with in order to make these LED taillights function with this PUTCO LED light bar is going to be this red wire right near the terminal box here, and you can see it's the right one because it has already the heat shrink on it, so that's your giveaway. Now what they want us to do is actually take a pair of snips, and we'll cut this about 2 inches away from the box here. So we're going to make a cut like that, and then we are actually going to heat shrink this smaller side. So the side towards the box, we're not going to use. So we're going to use the heat shrink that's already on there, grab our torch, if it has any fuel in it. And we're going to heat shrink this closed. Just like so. We want it to be a nice watertight connection there. So that way when we have this, on the truck, we're off-roading. Here in Pennsylvania in the winter, you can see snow and water all over the place. A nice, good connection there, nice and sealed up so we don't get water in there into that box. So we're going to cut the black wire here, pull that off, and then we are going to simply just strip that back a little bit. And now I'm just going to take a heat shrink butt terminal to connect to that. and the red wire that we just cut. So now we have that crimped there. We are going to crimp it onto the black wire. And guys, don't be alarmed too if you do see a small spark when you're doing this. This is the constant 12-volt power from the front of the vehicle. So that's in order to make sure everything flashes properly. Now, before I heat shrink this down, we're gonna go up front and try out the taillight, make sure everything works. Well, after about 45 minutes, we've got our PUTCO blade installed onto the back end of my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. And overall, guys, I gotta say that the installation on this PUTCO blade was extremely easy, especially with that T-connector. You simply had to plug and play, and it just worked right away from there. There was no permanent modifications to the Jeep, and if we wanted to remove this, we can simply do so. We didn't have to drill, cut, or splice into any of the factory wiring, and I really like the look of it here. You can see that it is a nice, clean red look underneath, and by taking off that tailgate, it takes about an extra 5 minutes to do so, but it really allows you to get it in the perfect location and make sure it is even from left to right, as well as pretty level going across there. Now we're gonna hop in and show you guys some of the functionality, but if you are interested in purchasing this product, be sure to drop by cjponyparts.com. You can find this light bar as well as a ton of other lighting ideas for your Gladiator, Wrangler, or off-road vehicle. Now until next time, I hope you guys are staying safe and staying home. I'll see you out on the trails.